Let me tell you my story and how I got to become ATP certified tennis coach. Now, my tennis career started at the age of 5.5 years old in the city of Sochi, Russia. I was 5.5. My dad woke me up, put me inside the car, which I thought was weird because usually my mom would take me to preschool, and this morning my dad woke me up, put me inside the car. I fell asleep in the car and then I woke up at the tennis courts. So basically, that's how I started playing tennis in my hometown. Then, when I started playing, my results got pretty alright from the beginning. I started doing well, I started winning tournaments, improving my ranking. So then, at the age of 11, they sent me and my Russian national team to unofficial world championship to England. It was under 12s. And over there, I won it in singles. I became unofficial world champion in 12s, and I won it as a number one player on the team as well. We won it in the team section too. And then after that, that's when I started traveling. So I became number one in the world in the 14s. I've won a lot of tournaments. As you can see, some of these are from those junior period. I became number one in the world in 14s. I won European championships, world championships. I was playing as a number one player on the Russian national team. Then I signed a contract with Adidas and with my first manager, Alexei. He was amazing. I believe he's at IMG right now. And then after that, after the 14s, at 15 years old, I already got my first ATP point, which was a great thing because at the age of 15, I could get into any qualies of any futures tournament to play ATP. And then at the age of 14 and 15, I already started playing in the 18 section, so ITFs and also futures. I never played a single tournament in the category of 16 because when you were doing super well in the 14s, usually you make your jump to 18s because 16s was considered not competitive enough. Usually people cared a lot about 14s and 18s. So I started playing 18s, and at the age of 15, I became 61 in the world in ITF. I had ATP point, maybe more at that point, I don't remember. And then I was supposed to go to play junior Grand Slams. However, I got injured, so I couldn't play those. Also, in the meantime, from 14 to 15, I got a call from a country called Qatar. And what happened was the head coach of Qatar Federation at that time called me and told me that the Sheikh of Qatar, at that time he was the son of the Sheikh, he wanted to bring in a foreign player to then later play for Qatar and sponsor them. So at that time, I remember I was injured in my lower back, and Adidas paid me a trip to Germany. They provide the best doctors they had. They looked at my back, told me what to do, how to recover. And it was like 6 a.m. I was working out with my dad in the gym, doing gym workouts twice a day to recover from my back injury. And then this call happened from Qatar. They called me and they told me, hey, we're really interested in you. I was number one in the world at that time. So I went there, I signed the contract with Qatar, the now Sheikh of Qatar. Back in the day, he was the son of the Sheikh. He would come to my practice, watch me practice. I've signed my contract. I was playing over there for over 2 years. So I was in Qatar, and then they paid for my coach, for my fitness coach, and also for my trip and development training in Spain for 2 years. That's why I've worked with a lot of great coaches, and I've been training with great players over there, with top level players, top ATP players too, with Tommy Robredo, Joao Sousa, Feliciano Lopez, many others, and great coaches too. So, and my manager, I had to stop my contract with my previous manager and sign a new contract with a new manager. And my then manager was Nasser. He is right now actually the owner of Football Club PSG, which is the best club in Europe, as you know. He's the owner. So when you see the guy on TV looking sharp and always shaved, he used to be my manager back in the day. So it's kind of symbolic that I'm wearing a football t-shirt today, as I'm a little Barcelona fan, you can say. I lived there for over 2 years. So yeah, and then at the age of 15, I was still with Qatar. I still had a contract with them, and then I was supposed to play junior Grand Slams, but then I got injured. So for almost 2 years, I haven't really played any tournaments or trained much. The worst injury was in my shoulder. I had a fracture in my shoulder that was not healing for whatever reason. My back was still bothering me. So yeah, and then at about age of 17 or so, I came back. Obviously, I didn't play ITFs anymore because there was no really point of playing ITFs. So I started playing futures and ATP tournaments, and then I believe I got 9, 10, or 11 ATP points, which put me in a ranking of 998 in the world. I was probably 18, 19 at that time. And then, after that, the injuries came back again, so I had to stop. So I stopped around the age of 18, 19 years old, I believe, with somewhat 9 or 10, 11 ATP points, something like that. And then I haven't played for a year, but then I wanted to still play, okay, because that's what I've been doing my whole life, and I needed to study too. So I applied to all the top schools, top 30 schools in the United States. Thankfully, they were providing full scholarship to me, and I decided to go to Santa Clara University. I loved warm weather, and one of my close friends was on the team at that time from Russia. We used to play together over here. So I decided to go there. It was a nice school, nice education, nice spot. So I went there and I showed the best result in the history of Santa Clara University. I believe I played finals of regionals or something like that. And then, I played on the team, graduated from there. And then for a little bit of time, I was trying to look for a regular job. Couldn't land it. And then I went to Goran Tennis Academy, which was, and I believe still is, top 10 tennis academy in the world. Over there, quite quickly, I became the head coach, then I became the director of tennis. And I've learned a lot of methodology from Vitaly Gorin, who is the owner of that academy. He's a legend in tennis. He's himself raised and developed Dmitry Tursunov, who was top 20 ATP, Nicholas Basilashvili was involved, he's 16 ATP, Igor Kunitsyn 35 ATP, Irakli Labadze 42 ATP, Junior Wimbledon winner, many countless Division 1 players that we've raised together, and he raised obviously before me, before he was there. So that's where I've learned his unique methodology of upper body biomechanics, lower body footwork. And I've gathered a lot of knowledge, which made me understood how bad of a coach I was at first when I started coaching after my tennis career. So that's another example of somebody being a decent player back in the day doesn't make them a good coach, because learning the methodology, learning all this knowledge, I realized that I simply didn't have the access to this knowledge nor methodology. So as a coach, I was pretty bad. As a teacher, I was a complete zero, and as a coach, yes, I could share my experience, a little bit of a player, but I couldn't really coach. So that helped me a lot. And then I've put my help back in the academy too. I've developed 3 locations over there from zero, filled out with players. I happen to believe that the players loved me. I loved them. It was a great time. I was the director of tennis for over 4 years. During that time, I became ATP certified coach too. My certification is somewhere over there. So I've worked with about 200 players, and when I say worked, I mean worked and developed, not just trained them 1 or 2 or 3 times. And what I can say is that the players that came to me from whoever else they have come, they would, after that, they would not leave. So they would want to stay and practice with me, even though I was the most expensive coach over there. And still, in tennis terms, I'm an expensive coach if we just look at a one-time training. Obviously, if you look at it as an investment, I'm actually the cheapest coach you can work with, because if I can teach you something within 3 months that the other coach cannot teach you in 3 or 4 or 5 years, then I actually am the cheapest coach. So yeah, if you can look at it as an investment, then you realize that. So So yes, that's where I've gained a lot. And then I traveled with one of my players from New York for over 2 years to all around the country. We've played tournaments. When I started working with him, he was 2,400 in the country in the 16s, and within a year, he got into top 400 in the 16s in the country. He won, I believe, 8 tournaments. 2 of the tournaments he won was in the 18s. His name was Adrian Avanesov. So it was a really, really successful time working with him. And again, another player that was developed. I've also worked with WTA players, one of which is Yelena Karakazidi. I believe she is about 600 in WTA right now and 300 or 400 in WTA in doubles. So a player with very high potential. I've worked with other players that gain ATP points. I've worked with players that I've developed all the way up to Division 1 college schools. I've worked with junior champions that doing really well on nationals. And I've worked with players that jumped in their UTR 3, 4, 5, 6 UTRs up in the shortest time possible. And I can say pretty confidently that everybody I've worked with will have something decent to say about me. At least that's been the case so far. And they're happy to share that they work with me with other players and have other players come to me and work. So yes, right now I'm an ATP certified tennis coach with almost 30 years of tennis experience as a player and as a coach. I've worked with players of all levels, from juniors to Division 1 players to professional players, ATP and WTA ranked. I teach methodology that have developed top ranked WTA, ATP players, countless Division 1 players, countless junior champions from all over the world, not just the United States. And yes, right now I've launched my online tennis community where I've put together my whole knowledge for the methodology that I teach. There are video lessons, there are drills for upper body biomechanics development, for lower body footwork development. You can join in discussions. I do video calls where I can guide your progress and give you feedback all the time to make sure that you have access to me 24/7 and you're not just thrown into that community and not taken care of. I take care of every single type of player. Doesn't matter the age or the level. Okay, I treat everybody the same. I treat everybody 100%. So yes, I will leave the link for my socials in the comment sections. Follow my link. I try to post a lot of free stuff that is super educational. Also, the video lessons and the material that is inside the community can only be accessed over there. It will not be up for grabs on YouTube or any other social media. So once you're inside the community, you have access to all this type of special knowledge that you will not get access to in any other way or from any other coach. I can guarantee you that. So make sure you use it. I've created it for you guys so you can train, you can improve, you can use it, and I can personally guide you. I don't want you to just be thrown over there on your own. Okay, so here is my story in a few words. I hope you've enjoyed. I'd be super happy to work with you. Send me a DM on Instagram. Come join my Tennis Online community. Send me a DM anywhere it's possible to send. I'm on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube under my name. So find me there, send me a DM if you would like to work together. And yeah, let's go. I wish you good luck.